If you're a professional, you absolutely know the feeling. That constant, overwhelming fire hose of newsletters, reports, and updates. It feels like a full-time job just trying to keep up. And let's be honest, most of us feel like we're losing that battle. Today, we're diving into a new approach that claims it can end this information overload for good. And it all starts with one pretty shocking number.
57. Yeah, you heard that right. According to the source, that's how many newsletters the average knowledge worker gets. Not a month, a week. This isn't just a vague feeling of being swamped anymore. This is a hard number. It really sets the stage for the scale of the problem we're all facing.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get into what's being called the daily drown. Then, we'll look at why the tools we're using now just aren't cutting it. After that, we'll introduce this idea of a personal analyst. We'll cover how it works, the huge payoff it promises, and finally, what this could all mean for the future of just knowing things. Okay, let's get right into it with our first section, the daily drown. The argument here is that this is way more than just a little annoyance. It's a full-blown quality of life crisis for anyone trying to stay on top of their field today. And this is the heart of the crisis right here. Just think about that. Up to 2 hours every single day. That's a whole 10 hours a week you're spending just trying to tread water. But here's the real kicker. Even after all that time, you still have that nagging fear, that deep down anxiety that you miss the one thing that really mattered. It's the perfect recipe for burnout.
So why is this happening? I mean, we have all these tools, right? Well, let's move on to our next section, which argues that the tools we're all using aren't just failing to fix the problem, they're actually a huge part of it. The source really brings this to life with some powerful examples. I mean, just imagine for a second, you're a cardiologist, maybe in São Paulo, trying to keep up with dozens of medical journals while you're also seeing patients. Or you're a journalist in Dubai, trying to monitor hundreds of news feeds while building your own business. Or an executive, trying to balance new regulations against what your competitors are doing. For these people, missing one key piece of info isn't just an oops. It could have massive consequences.
And here, the source points out this fundamental mismatch. On one side, you have our traditional inboxes and feed readers. Their goal is often to keep you on the platform as long as possible. You know, they celebrate that you have 1,000 feeds. But on the other side, there is your goal, the real goal. Spend as little time reading as possible while finding the 3 insights that actually matter. These two goals are pulling in completely opposite directions. This brings us to the proposed solution, which isn't just a better inbox. It's a whole new category of tool. The source introduces this idea as your personal analyst, something built from the ground up for how we work now. So what in the world is a personal intelligence analyst? Well, the idea is pretty cool. It's an AI that sifts through all of your information, all those newsletters and reports, to find what's important specifically for you and your job. The key here is that it's not just summarizing everything. It's analyzing it for personal relevance, doing the hard part so you don't have to. And this quote from the source just nails the philosophy perfectly. We don't help you read more faster. We help you read less while knowing more. See, the point isn't to turn you into a speed reading machine. The whole point is to drastically cut down what you have to read by surfacing only the most valuable stuff. It's a total shift from processing volume to extracting value. Okay, that's the big idea, but how does it actually work in the real world? This next section breaks down the process, and it's all built around 3 key ideas: making it simple, private, and of course, smart. The process itself is broken down into 3 super simple steps. First, you connect your Gmail. It's a secure one-click thing that takes about 60 seconds. That's it. Second, while you're asleep, the AI goes to work. It reads everything, and, this is the important part, it connects the dots between all your different sources. And third, you wake up. But instead of that cluttered, anxiety-inducing inbox, you get a clean 5-minute digest with only the stuff that actually matters. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room anytime you connect an app to your email: privacy. The source is crystal clear on this. The connection uses secure OAuth, and the AI is built to only look at newsletters. It will never, ever touch your personal or your work emails. This privacy-first design is presented as a total non-negotiable for the whole thing to even work. So all this leads to the big question, right? Does it actually work? Let's get into the payoff and look at the real, measurable impact this has, not just on your time, but on what you actually know. And here is the headline number. Get this. Over 500 hours saved per year. To put that in perspective, that's more than 12 full 40-hour work weeks. It's a mind-boggling claim, but it's meant to show you exactly what it means to get those 2 hours back every day. But, beyond the raw numbers, there's the human side of it. And this quote from a user just says it all. Newsletter bankruptcy. We have all felt that, right? It's that moment where you just throw your hands up and surrender to the unread count. The jump from that feeling of defeat to actually feeling on top of things, well, that's presented as the real win here. To prove that this isn't just a flash in the pan, the source points to its user engagement. It says that 80% of users open their digest every single day. Now think about that. That's not a tool you try once and forget about. That's a daily habit. That tells you it's become a critical part of their workflow, something they really depend on. So what's next? Where does this all go? Well, the vision here isn't just about fixing your email. It's positioned as the start of something way, way bigger. This section is all about the future of knowing itself. And the vision laid out is, you have to admit, incredibly ambitious. It makes this powerful comparison. Just as Google came along and organized all the world's public information, the goal here is to organize your private universe of information. The big idea is to create this personal intelligence layer that plugs into everything you read and makes it all useful, all actionable. And so we end right here with a question that flips the spotlight directly back onto you. The source makes its case pretty clear. The price of information overload is real, and it's steep, about 2 hours of your life every single day. So the final thought it wants to leave you with is a personal one. Now that you know the cost, how much longer are you going to keep paying it?